tonight the NFL Network is not airing a baseball life. It's a football life of Mike Vick after tonight's Falcons-Buccaneers game. What do you want people to get out of watching this 1-hour documentary, Mike?
Well, I think the football life was very detailed from any other documentary that I've ever done. Not to say that the ones previously wasn't presented correctly or they didn't do a good job. I think at the end of this documentary and watching it, I'm very pleased through everything that has happened and transpired in my life. I think it was kind of in an hour episode, and kind of showed the rise and the fall, and then the rise again, and where you go post career. So I think it pretty much shows that it was Mike Vick. It was my life. It was how I lived. It was the people who was involved who believed in me, who gave me an opportunity to come back and show that I can redo it again. And, kind of, reconciling with some of the mistakes that I made and making amends for some of the things that happened.
What was the toughest part for you to talk about this sort of stuff, Mike?
The toughest part was dealing with the dogfighting issue. It's very touchy and a sensitive subject, not only to myself now, but to a lot of people around the world. And I think the most important thing you try to take from it is the educational part, in the end, and what came out of it, and how, as a person, as a man, I can continue to grow, and advocacy can continue to grow as a whole. So that's the most positive part that came out of that. It's most difficult to talk about, but I'm glad I can sit down and talk about it with some sort of reconciliation behind it.
Mike Vick joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. So what do you wish, I guess, the Michael Vick of that time would have known what the Mike Vick of right now knows?
Oh, man. I sit and ask myself that question all the time. I really feel like, if I had known better back then, I would have done better. And without making those mistakes, I wouldn't have been able to, focus in on, how to do it the right way. Sadly to say, those mistakes that I made, really helped transform me into the man that I am today. And, you probably heard me say it in the documentary that going to prison was probably one of the best things for me. And it's sad that I have to sit there and say that in order to figure out how promising my future could be, or what I could have taken away from it, or how I could have progressed. So, in life, you go through certain things and things happen. You have to pick up the pieces and keep going, and that's what I took away from it.
Now, obviously, there's so many players who have been suspended by the league, and there's people who have run afoul of the law in the league who have done different things. But what would you say? What would you say to somebody who has the opportunity but continues to behave in a manner that places it in jeopardy? What would you say to a player like that, Mike?
I would tell that player to stop being so unappreciative. There's a lot of people out here in this world who struggle on a day-to-day basis, and the profession that we're in, the opportunities that we have in playing in the NFL, knowing that it's a privilege and not a right. If we get that part in perspective, then I think we'll think about our day-to-day decisions differently, not irrationally. And to a young player coming into this league, I would just advise them to take advantage of every opportunity that's given, because you don't know when it's going to be your last. And the privileges that we have in this league, and the way the league take care of us as players, and it's been so good to us over the years, and it's continued to grow and progress. You can't take that for granted. So appreciation is something that has to be dearly in your heart.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.